To the Great Blacks in Wax Open Forum. My name is Margaret Locklear, and my guest today is Mr. John Carrington from WCAO Heaven 600.
Oh, well, Margaret Locklear, it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thanks.
And you remind me so much of the woman from Good Time, Esther
Oh my
Roll.
God, I get that.
Dynamite! It's a pleasure to be here with you. Yeah, and I know you want to ask me about all the things that I'm doing.
Yeah,
in the
what
media.
are you doing, and what is the Magic Box?
Well, the Magic Box is a show that we have on Baltimore City Access Cable. It's a program for children ages 3 to 8 years old. It's a fun show. I do magic tricks, puppetry, juggling. We have audience participation. I have children come up as volunteers, and we just have a ball doing magic tricks and understanding that in anything you pursue, you need to practice and then follow through. Practice and follow through.
Wonderful philosophy, especially for our young people. Tell me some of the other things that you're doing.
Well, I'm also a part of After Midnight, which is another Baltimore City Access program. I'm sort of like the Ed McMahon of the show. I kind of get to be the sidekick and sit on the side. When I hear something funny, I go, And every now and then I'll get a chance to use my rare talents. I mean, those are talents I really don't have. You know, like my personal, my impersonations, like, well, gee whiz, Margaret, it's really nice to be here. Or, I'll tell you right now, for our really big show, we have a young man who comes to us from East Baltimore. So, you know, I have rare talents. Those are talents that I really don't have, but I fake it till I make it.
Well, I do have some experience in seeing some of your performances. I've witnessed you as an awesome ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist, that's called talking to yourself.
I guess you spent a lot of years doing that.
I certainly have, okay. For example, hello. Hello. How are you? How are you? Oh, okay. Apples. Watch this. John Carrington is the world's best ventriloquist. Baloney! I don't know where that came from.
Okay, John, you know what? I think we have a clip.
Almost. I tell you, don't tell John the Wiz, because I am Oscar, and I am the rabbit of the hour. And I love the rabbit show. I love the rabbit show. I love. I think I hear John the Wiz. Hey, boys and girls, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Okay. And I'm teaching Oscar how to control his ego.
I don't own an eagle.
I didn't say eagle. Ego. That means you're at. Okay, then well, who's the funniest? I am. Okay, well let's see here. Okay. Here's a joke for you. I walk in. I say my dog had pups. You say, what kind of a dog is it? And then I say, female. It's not funny. What do you mean it's not funny? That's the funniest material I've ever written. It's not funny. Oh, okay, then all right, let's just try it. Let's try it and see if it works. It's not funny. Okay, all right, we're gonna see if it's funny. Okay, all right. My dog had pups. How many?
How about that?
Oh, we have all kinds of fun on After Midnight. In fact, the After Midnight show is taped at the top of the World Trade Center here in Baltimore.
Oh, that's right.
And it's wonderful. And it's dark, and you see the lights of the city, and you can see the beautiful Baltimore skyline, the water meeting the horizon, and the sun setting. It's a lovely location, and it inspires us to cut up and have a ball right here in Baltimore.
What kind of show is it?
Oh, well, it's sort of a cross between Conan the Barbarian and, Conan, the Conan show, Jay Leno, David Letterman. It's just a crazy cut-up show.
So how do you get your guests?
Well, that's done by Catch as Catch Can. See, whenever there's a popular rock and roll group in town, or perhaps a really talented artist, or perhaps somebody who's really into the nightlife, a poet, or perhaps a soloist, we'll have them come on and maybe they'll do a sample of their talent. Why, we've had Howard G, the comedian, a part of our show. And Howard G was hilarious. He does this great Bill Cosby impression, like, I want a Jell-O pudding pop. You'll love the Jell-O pudding. Anyway, he does a great Bill Cosby impression. So we just have a variety of really dynamic guests, and it will keep you awake after midnight.
Okay, John, and you know what? I think we have a clip.
Scallions and all kinds of fruit and say we have an old-fashioned Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if you guys notice. Okay.
All right.
I would like to talk to you, you see, about some Jell-O pudding on the show, you see.
Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Is that all right?
All right, now Steve, you do one. You do
All
one.
right,
See if I guess you got it.
Let's see. I'm a compassionate conservative. I'm from the little state of Texas.
Okay, let me
All right, moving
see.
smartly along.
No, I know that. I know who that guy is. That's the guy from Porgy.
Porky's too.
Yes, Porky's too. Exactly. I knew it. All right, John got somebody. Who you got, John?
Tonight's really big shoe here, and after midnight, the teacher's Madame de Pompadour, her dancing pool.
Black Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon.
We have the Black Stallion, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
And we have a really big shoe, and right now I just turn over to Howard Yee.
Hey man, what's going on, man? Let me tell you something, man. Hey man.
Is this an outtake?
Yeah, this is outtakes, man.
Okay.
You know, whatever. Don't you ever.
Was that Marcus Welby?
Well, gee whiz, Howard, it's really nice to be here. I've been punching cattle all day.
Muhammad Ali.
Bells on my fingers and rings on my toes.
Punch drunk Muhammad Ali. I know. That's it.
I am the greatest.
All right.
I am the greatest. I'm pretty. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. I'm so pretty. I look like a butterfly and stink like a bee.
Let me tell you something.
Is that George Foreman?
No, let me tell you something. I just want to eat an ear. You know, if you got somebody's ear, I put some salt and pepper on it, hot dog, and I eat the ear. That's all I'm hungry, man. Come on, I don't want to fight. I just want to eat your ear. That's all I want. I want to eat the ear. So, and I know you like my tattoos. You know, I'm going to get some new tattoos all over my face. Next tattoo I'm going to have inside my nose.
So is that Bugs Bunny or Elmer Fudd? I don't know. I'm new here. Just, you know.
Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. It was more Elmer Fudd.
No, I thought it was kind of Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Bad man.
You know, let me cut you. It must really be boring because everybody's talking. Do you do something?
I just want to say, this is Reverend Justin Jackson. We're going to make this clear.
We're getting really desperate now. How about somebody from the audience? Anybody.
Anybody.
Let me show you something!
Is that Gene?
Who was that?
That was Gene the Dancing Machine. That's the authentic real deal.
That was my next door neighbor.
It was?
Yeah.
He's stalking us.
He owed me $50.
Some people will do anything to get on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Anything. So this is Mike Tyson, and I'm trying to tell y'all it's time to go. We gotta get out of here. You know, I got a hungry appetite. I might, you know, chew on some neck bones. No, really neck bones.
We're waiting for the Madonna.
I might eat some toes. You never know.
Wait a minute, this must be Mike.
Who's this?
Well, won't you hear me now? Listen, little think about the future when you get the chance to. The name is Arnold Brown Swagger.
Hey, sign that guy up. Get that guy a contract.
Future name is the run-on. If he comes back, he'll be the run-on comedian.
I had a lot of run-on syndrome.
Okay, and action.
All right, hey guys, we gotta get out of here. We definitely gotta thank our band.
Thank the band. Midnight Boy.
And of course, we gotta thank this guy here. Who's this guy right here?
Run on Ranger. Yeah. Run on Ranger.
Sign him out. Sign him up. Sign him up. Get in the contract. Right. After midnight, tune in. We're not going away. No, real. We're not here for you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, how about that? You are amazing. I understand you also have a radio show. It's called the
Marilyn Fun Time. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. I've been doing that for about 18, 19 years now, and I was on that station when they were country western.
Oh, I didn't
and now
know
they're
that.
gospel, urban gospel, and we talk about recreational activities that can be done here in Maryland or outside of Maryland. The whole point is to make positive use of your free time, because I believe that when a person makes good use of their free time, it benefits them and the community.
Oh, Sam Wilson. Oh, yeah. Got me started in the theater myself when I was a student at Morgan. We had a co-op program back then. And he got me involved in Our Street, which was the first black soap opera that they had in Baltimore, but it was to promote the services that they had, and then eventually went to MPT and it became a soap opera.
All right.
But anyway, I first met you, John, when I was working as a counselor for Lutheran Church in Baltimore, and you came with your monkey and your ventriloquist, and the kids were just absolutely fascinated by you and the little magic tricks and all that you do. And to see that you've developed and grown so much over the years, it's been, we won't tell.
Well, I like to say, waste is a terrible thing to mind. I mean, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I've been trying to develop the mind. The waste developed too.
Okay. What inspired you to develop Marilyn Fun?
Well, I was visiting the Arena Playhouse, and this was before I even had any inkling that I was interested in magic tricks or even public speaking. And I visited the Arena Playhouse, and I saw this lady on stage, Verna Day, and she was doing some sort of a play about an opal this, opal that. Anyway, she just, every now and then the lights would focus in on her, she just talked to the audience. I said, well, you know something, that's powerful.
Yes, it is.
That's powerful. If she can do that, maybe I could do a little bit of that. But I didn't really take it seriously. And then, as time went along, I got into the puppetry and the magic tricks, and this woman named Virginia Baker asked me to appear on her radio show. So I appeared, and then she said, John, I can't be there next week. Can you host for me? I said, okay. I said, if Verna can do what she did in front of an audience live, I can hide behind a microphone and fake like I'm a host. So I went and hosted the show. And the woman said, thank you for hosting the show. Now, who is your guest going to be next week? I said, my guest going to be next week? She said, yes, it's your show. So I lined up some guests. I called some people that I knew in around town, and I got them on as guests. And here it is, close to 18, 19 years later, and I'm still doing this show.
And so what motivates you to, what guests motivate you?
Fear. Fear that I'm going to not have a guest for the next show. Because after all, Verna Day inspired me. Virginia Baker hired me. And I guess the only person who can fire me is me if I don't do the next show.
Right. Is there any general format to your show?
Yes. Basically, Marilyn Fun Time is created to encourage people to use their spare time in a positive way. I feel that every moment of your life is precious. If you waste a moment, then there's going to be an hour that's going to be wasted. If you waste an hour, that's an hour, that's a day that's wasted. And if you waste enough time, someday somebody will look over you and say, they look good, but what a waste. And I don't want anybody ever to have to say that about anybody I come in contact with. So I always encourage people to use their spare time in a positive way so they'll have a positive result in their life.
Okay, so as you can hear, we have a lot of young people coming into the museum to view the great figures of wax and
that's right. Well, that's what we want. We want the young people in here because this is a living museum. This is a museum, even though the figures are not alive, but we like to think that the history is continuing through them. And if they're here seeing this history, then the impressions and the inspirations they take away will create the future. So yes, I encourage the young people, come on in here, laugh, point, have a good time. But remember, the next histories will be made by each and every one of you. Well, you know something? I brought some clips of my performances on the Magic Box.
Well, why don't we take a look at them right now?
I'm Carrington, and this is the Magic Box, and this here is Monica. Say hi, Monica. Hi. You didn't say Monica. Okay, anyway, Monica is here, and she's helping with the comedy. Because you see, in magic, you not only learn, but you learn how to use skills. For example, public speaking, being creative, and also being interesting and providing people with entertainment. On the count of 3, Monica, say, hi, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. You go, what? Well, what do you know? It's our dove. Monica is a young person like all of you who are watching TV. Everybody is young at heart. And you are curious about how things work. Well, on the count of 3, Monica, say, hi, Monica. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Monica. The world works like this. The more you put into the world, the more you get out. You have to learn, you have to grow, and you have to expand in order to be on top of your world.
Wow, that was really, I hate to say this, but I'm a legend in my own mind.
That is so great.
Thank you.
So how long have you been doing this program?
About 15 minutes. Oh, you mean the magic?
30
years.
30 years?
30 years. I started back in the early 70s or so, and then I went on to seriously pursue it, and then somebody offered me some money to perform, and I took the money, and then they wanted their money back, and so I said I better get good at this, and then I really practiced and applied myself, and after a while I've been making people smile, and when they smile and laugh, sometimes they pay me, and I call that funny money, and I'll take that.
But that I have to agree with, John, because I have witnessed you, and you're a wonderful performer. You have, done some great things for me and my kids as well, as far as, bringing joy and laughter into their lives. And John, I really appreciate that you are inspiring our young people to read on your show.
Reading is basic. If you can read, you can learn anything. When I was in college at the University of Maryland, I realized that if you could read, you could do math, because math books are written. And I learned that in my 4th year of college. I passed the math class doing that. That's the honest truth.
Okay, do your kids also participate in the reading program that's sponsored by
whenever I'm with a group of young people, I like to slip in a reading message. Now, sometimes I'll be doing a birthday party and I don't get a chance to put the emphasis on it that I would like. But whenever I'm in a school setting or a day camp where there's enough children assembled and I know they're all of school age, I will slip in a reading message. I'll say them special words right now are read to achieve, or learn to read, read to learn, or readers are leaders. The point is I want to emphasize that reading is going to help them in more ways than just satisfying the grade the teacher's going to give them.
Okay. Well, John, can you stick around for a while while we take a break?
Sure, be happy to.
Folks, we'll be right back.
Oh, we had so much fun. We had the time of our life. We had our time having fun talking about time. So remember, on the Magic Box, you not only see some things that are magical, but you also learn, and you learn how to have fun in your free time. So until next time, this is John Carrington saying see ya at the next episode of the Magic Box. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, folks. We're here with John Carrington from the Magic Box. John, tell us what else you...
Arena players. I gotta say it. Arena players. See, there's some good magicians and there's some lousy magicians. I like to think that I'm good and lousy. So, how do you get that way? Well, you gotta have training. I decided at one point in my magic career I needed to know more than just doing tricks and trying to be funny. I wanted to be on stage and learn good theatrics. So I met Sam Wilson, same fellow who inspired you. Sam Wilson taught me that when you're on stage, find the light. There's always a brighter spot on that stage than the one that you're standing in. Find the light.
Okay.
And deliver your lines by pronunciating and enunciating the words. Project your voice. Also, never turn your back on the audience.
Right.
The audiences I perform for, I can't afford to turn my back on them. Children are a very serious audience. If they like you, they'll say it. If they think they don't like you, they'll tell you, I don't think I like you.
Exactly.
And that's how honest children are. But my theatrical training with the Arena Players prepared me to not just be a magician, but a magician who was also a showman. Okay. Somebody who understood the stage, how curtains and lighting affect what I'm doing. Also, I understand that the audience needs to be involved in my show. It's not me on a TV screen performing. It's me crossing those footlights and making contact with each and every person in that audience. And that means you look to a different part of the room and make sure that you are delivering your message, delivering your dialogue to everyone there.
Do you write your own material?
Well, you have to in magic, because the one secret that nobody really tells you in the magic shop is that every trick that you do has become yours. As long as you're reading somebody else's words and doing the trick as somebody else has written it, then you're doing the trick that they produced, they invented, and these are the words that they use. That trick might be a hit in their setting, in their part of the world. But if you try to do it here in front of the audience that you're working with and you don't make adjustments, you're going to overshoot or undershoot the audience, and you're going to miss making the trick as effective as it can be. For example, I was at a workshop one time, and one of the counselors, a PhD, stood up in front of a group of teenagers and said, let me present a hypothetical situation. The kid said, wait a minute, what is a hypothetical situation? and the counselor had to, the PhD fellow had to stop and say, oh, I'm working with a group of teenagers. I'm not working with a bunch of fellow colleagues in academia. I'm working with a teenager. And he said he had to say a make-believe situation. And that communicated a lot better than if he had just did what he was used to doing. So the key in magic is to make the trick yours, and then to make it fit the audience that you're working with.
Okay, well, without revealing any secrets, do you ever teach some of the children some of your tricks?
Yes, if a child is really interested, really excited about what I'm doing, I will maybe teach them something very simple. But then I'll encourage them to go to a book to learn more. And there are a few books that I do recommend. Number one is The Amateur Magician's Handbook by Henry Hay, H-A-Y, that's how he spells his name. And that's a very good resource for children who are perhaps 8 and older. There is a book entitled The Mark Wilson Complete Course in Magic, has photographs in it. And that could work pretty nicely for children who are starting to read and are again, interested in reading about magic tricks.
Well, I do know some children over the years who you have inspired to practice some of your work. Really. And I find you a very fascinating, exciting individual.
Well, I find you very fascinating, and exciting, and interesting too.
You're also involved with the production of the Great Blacks in Wax series.
Oh, that is really exciting. I get a chance to visit the museum and look at the various figures and read their histories, and then act as a narrator for a televised series about each of the characters. And it's really exciting when you can see the various characters come to life as a result of the efforts that we're making in narrating and producing the Great Blacks in Wax series.
Okay, John, you know what? I think we have a clip from that. Why don't we take a look at that, right?
Hello, this is John Carrington at the Great Blacks in Wax Museum. We're putting a face on the history of Baltimore, a face on the history of blacks, and also a new face on North Avenue. We're attempting to make black disappear, and we're attempting to make a beautiful streetscape right here on North Avenue in Baltimore City. And that's why we're here in this beautiful mansion, once owned by an industrial baron who had the funds to build a mansion that was comparable to City Hall. In fact, the same architect who built Baltimore City Hall also built this mansion. It's a lovely building, and it's now under the ownership of the Great Blacks in Wax Museum.
History impacts everybody. It impacts the city, the state, and the world. To change urban life and to create a beautiful cityscape.
The Underground Railroad. The desire to help slaves escape bondage led to the formation of the Underground Railroad. There was no real train loaded with escaped slaves traveling on rails underground. The train was a human train of slaves called a freight, led by a guide called a conductor, moving secretly underground to homes called stations of sympathetic people who would give encouragement until they made their way into freedom. Blacks and whites participating in the Underground Railroad movement helped thousands of blacks obtain their freedom. Harriet Tubman was a conductor of the Underground Railroad.
That's wonderful, especially to get that information out there.
All right, that's right.
And to encourage people to come and visit the museum.
Oh, please visit. The trip will inspire you. Once you've been here, then you have a basis for moving on with your life and your future. Once you know where you've been, you know where you can go.
I agree, because I've also visited the museum, and I am fascinated by the information that I've found here. The young people will also, it'll help build up your sense of self.
Oh, self-esteem.
Once you've been here and gone through the museum, you will never forget it. Especially the slave ship area and the lynching area, and then of course those inventions that a lot of us weren't aware that we were a part of. Okay, folks, thank you for joining us at the Great Blacks in Wax Open Forum. If you'd like to be a guest, come down to the Great Blacks in Wax. It's usually done on the first Monday of each month, and you can be a participant. You can also take a look around the museum, and like I said, once you've been here, you'll never forget it. Thank you for joining us. John, thank you for being here with us today, and we'll see you again.
All right, thanks for inviting me.
We got to keep seeing stuff. Thank you for joining us. And if you would like to be a guest on the Great Blacks in Wax Open Forum, call the number at the bottom of the screen. Join us. If you have an interesting anecdote to share with us, or if you have something you want to promote from your community, just give us a call.